Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. If you're following along in this series, welcome back. This is part 2 of my August 2021 Paper Pumpkin Kit alternative videos where I'm working with the Hope Box. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create a butterfly card that is for cancer awareness. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Today we're going to be working with this Positively Pink color, and in the Paper Pumpkin Kit itself, you could do this card with either one of these bases, but then you're going to be adding a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Positively Pink that you would have to cut from your own stock. Now you could layer this piece on top of here like this, or you could layer this piece on top of here like that to create this card. Now I'm going to go ahead, just to conserve these pieces for the other videos I need to make, I'm going to go ahead and just work with a basic white. So I'm going to take and fold a 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 basic white in half, and then I'm going to use my bone folder. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, and as I did on the last card, I'm going to be using the Timeworn Type embossing folder. So this is the folder that I've chosen to use on all of my alternative projects, or most of my alternative projects. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in the folder. I will then run this through my Stampin', Cut, and Emboss machine, and when it is all done, it's going to look like this. So there are words on here, so you want to make sure that you have the words going in the right direction. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to just adhere this to the top with some liquid glue. All right, so we have our card base all ready. Now we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to use 2 images from the Paper Pumpkin Kit, the butterfly as well as the word hope. And then I've added a couple of dies. I'm going to be working with the Scallop contour dies that has this awesome scalloped rectangle frame. And then I pulled out a retired die set. It's called the Support Ribbon. This is one that I definitely use a lot for community service projects or different types of cancer awareness. So I'm so glad that I have this die and I'm able to use it for today's project. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, and then we are going to start with our Memento ink. I'm going to ink up the butterfly. And actually, when I'm working with a photopolymer stamp, I want to have a little cushion underneath it, so I'm going to use my piercing mat. Then I'm going to stamp the butterfly. And then I'm going to use my scissors to fussy cut it, and when I'm all done, it's going to look like that. All right? Now we're ready to add some coloring. So I'll be using my Stampin' Blends markers. This is light Flirty Flamingo. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just color the entire butterfly with this light Flirty Flamingo color. So I've colored the butterfly with light Flirty Flamingo. And now what I love about the blends is that you can layer colors on top of color. So now I'm coming in with the coordinating color, the polished pink. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just outlining around the center here, just layering some darker pink there. And then I'm going to bring some color just up here on the top and kind of outline like this. I'm going to trace that up to the top. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of color here on the wings. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo once again, and I'm going to kind of just blend that all together. And then if you find that there's any areas where you want to lighten the color or add some highlights, you can also use this color lifter. So I'm just going to come in here and just lift up some of the color underneath that pink. And just add some highlights right there in the center. All right, so our butterfly is all colored, and now we are ready to add the sentiment. So I'll be using the Scallop contour dies. I've used basic white cardstock, and then I have die cut this scallop piece. So with my Memento ink, I'm going to stamp the word hope right at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take and add some dimensionals to the back of the ribbon. I love having the option of having a mini dimensional. So I put a mini dimensional at the top and then 4 regular size dimensionals. Okay, once the dimensionals are on there, I'm going to flip this around, and then I'm going to just take the tail of the ribbon and I'm going to put it on each side to kind of frame the word hope. All right. Then we're going to take our pretty butterfly here. We're going to flip it upside down. I'm going to add a dimensional here in the center. And then I'm going to place that right there on the ribbon. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this over, add dimensionals on the back. Okay, so now the backing has been removed, and now we are ready to center this right in the middle of our card. The final embellishment I'm going to do on this card is I'm going to add some rhinestones in the center. So I'm going to use my Stamp and Blend marker once again, but this time I'm going to use it to color my jewel rhinestones. So I'm just going to lightly brush the top and the sides of my rhinestone. I'm going to be careful not to damage the tip of my Stamp and Blend, so I'm just going to go really light and add an angle. Okay, I'm going to color 1 medium and 2 small, and then I'll be using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to place 1 there, 1 there, and 1 right there. Now I didn't really give that a lot of time to dry, so if it takes off some of that ink, then you can just come back with your marker and you can just add a little touch to make it a little bit darker. Okay, so this card is done, and as you know, the color pink is what represents breast cancer awareness. But another cancer awareness that's very important to me is lymphoma. I'm actually a survivor of stage 4 lymphoma, so I wanted to reproduce this color in the color green, which is the color that represents lymphoma. And so I used my Granny Apple Green, and I basically did the same exact card, the same layout, but I just highlighted that beautiful green color to represent lymphoma awareness. And I know, as being someone who is at the Cancer Center, receiving cards like this are so important, not only for the patients, but also for the caregivers who are taking care of them. And just to be an encouragement and a hope is something that I think is really important, especially today. Well, before I end this video, I just want to show you 2 more cards that I created using this butterfly image and some of the other pieces from the paper pumpkin. So this is the very first card I made. Now this piece represents pretty much all of the pieces from the kit itself. This is the pool party base. This is one of the pieces that came in the kit. I just ran it through that Timeworn Type embossing folder. And then this is one of the banners that came in there. You can see that I colored with my Stamp and Blends and blended a bunch of colors together. And then this butterfly is actually stamped on the bottom, and then it's heavily adorned with a variety of our jewels and sequins. And then the final card I'll show you is this one here. This one is pink and black, another one of my favorite combinations. The reason why I wanted to show you this is because in the paper pumpkin kit, there is this piece here. And so when you run out of pieces in your kit, I love the fact that this paper pumpkin kit had a speckle stamp. So I was able to reproduce this speckle pattern using a stamp so that I could create a similar card that I would after I would use up this piece. This also has some of the other butterflies that are in the kit. This white one here is actually a colorful butterfly that I flipped upside down. Then I layered on a small pink butterfly, and then I fussy cut a little black butterfly that I stamped. And then I adorned it with one of the sequins that came in the paper pumpkin kit. All right, well that is it for my cancer awareness cards and these other butterfly cards, but I am not done with my alternative projects. I have a few more, and even some that are my very favorite, so be sure to come back and watch the next part of this series where I'll be sharing some more of my alternative projects from the Hope Box kit. I look forward to seeing you soon. Aloha!